Well, it is indeed a pleasure to have you join me on yet another amazing episode of Flipside on Independent Television, reaching you live from the city of Bronze, that city where the king is truly king. Now, for those that are just joining us, Flipside is a unique show that seeks to put a balance to issues by taking a look at them from different perspectives. It is often said that variety is the spice of life, so the aim of Flipside is to take a look at issues from diverse angles, just so we can strike a balance. My name is Harry Igboje, and of course, it's my pleasure to have you join me on this beautiful episode of the show. Now, today we are discussing something quite important, something that has to do with our culture as a people. And we're basically taking a look at marriage, African traditional marriage, and the influence of Western civilization. Now, we've come a long way as a people, and you'll agree with me that as Africans, we have our own identity, we have our values, we have our way of life. But you see, a lot has changed ever since the white man came to us, ever since the era of colonization. So we're going to be taking a look at marriage, basically, and how it has evolved over time. And to do this with me are two, astute historians. They are very, inclined in this area, especially in matters that have to do with culture and tradition. Seated to my far left is someone who has made a name for himself in this regard. He goes by the name of Moses Obakbolo. It's good to have you in the house, sir.
Good afternoon, our viewers, and good afternoon, Harry.
Thank you, sir. It's been a while. I think it's been like over a month now since I last had you on the show. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you.
And of course, seated next to him is another very amazing analyst. He is a historian, and he goes by the name of Foster Iyamu. It's
Good afternoon, viewers, and good afternoon, Mr. Harry.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a pleasure being with you again.
It's indeed a pleasure to have you both on the show today. Now, let's get right to the business of the day. African traditional marriage and the influence of Western civilization. Like I said in the opening, we have our way, or we had our way of doing things before the coming of the white man. It's not like we no longer have our way of doing things, but a lot has changed as a result of Western influence. So let's begin by defining the key elements that define our traditional African marriages. Mr. Moses.
Thank you so much. When we're looking at marriage in this context, I'm going to narrow the spectrum because we see the world from our point of view, from where we are standing.
Okay.
So instead of making a wide, reference to the entire Africa, I will look at marriage from my own native point of view. That is the Benin culture, the Benin tradition. And I'm sure that will speak for the rest of Africa because marriages in Africa are basically the same with very few variations, little or none, except where we have certain cultures that may have evolved as a result of diffusion, and so to speak, they have become established. Now, looking at the Benin marriage, like I always say, that our society was structured along a very organized pattern before imperialism came, before colonialism came.
Okay.
Now, in the traditional Benin marriage, first and foremost, the relationship must be established by the parents. In those days, parents seek brides for their children. And in most cases, to establish relationship, marriages are made.
Okay.
And of course, it takes the entire family to marry.
So marriage is not just an individual affair.
It's not an individual affair. Now, there's a Benin proverb which says,
What does that mean?
That means that there must be a relationship. You know the family so well.
Okay.
You can vouch for them, their character, and some elements present in their family which can promote a healthy marriage.
Okay,
You
so
see,
there has to be some degree of awareness between both families.
awareness. Now, in marriages these days, people just look at love, sometimes beauty,
Okay.
sometimes affluence. But in the traditional marriage, though these elements play some key roles,
Okay.
but they are not uttermost.
Okay.
The important thing is integrity and trust. If you don't trust any family, you will not marry any of your child into the family. That is why marriages are contracted between families. And in essence, the Benin man does not give his daughter outright to the groom. Instead, the bride is given to the father, who in turn
Gives her to
gives out to
the
the
family
son.
of them. Okay.
So it is the elderly man that is giving the bride in trust. That's why we say, because we have a long-standing relationship built on trust. That is why I can entrust my daughter into your hands and into your family. Now, it starts from the basics. In those days, when you love a family, you like their ways, many things are taken into consideration. One, do we have a sickness that cuts life short in that family? Do we have witchcraft in that family? Are they known to be notorious? And several other traces.
Factors. Okay.
Factors are taken into consideration. And again, this man, I have worked with him, I have lived with him in this community. I will want to extend the relationship to the next generation. So when a daughter is born in a family, in those days, any man who has interest will send his children, not necessarily the groom, to go and make a mark by donating something. Like in Benin, we say, Oya mu ike ragboto. You go and fetch a log of firewood, drop it at the backyard, okay, and say, from so man, I have come to signify my interest in this your daughter. I wish you well.
Wow.
And it starts from there. And the man will now respond by saying, of all these people who have paid homage to me in respect of my daughter, I chose this one. And inform the man, from now on, you begin to do the necessary things. When they are going to farm, he will assist. When they go to the stream, they will assist. All for the upkeep of that little
Okay, so you're saying
child.
that the groom-to-be automatically begins to render
Service, not
services.
necessarily him, but his father and his family.
Okay.
So it is established. That's why we say betrothed. Betrothed.
Okay.
Because they have wooed the family and they have courted, and that child is to be given in marriage.
Okay.
The child is only to be told, this family is good. And we have looked at everything, all the indices point to the fact that they will make a good husband.
So the the father of the bride-to-be makes his approval known to his daughter.
Yes. And then the courtship begins. Early in life, they are brought together to establish, this cordial relationship that they will grow with. They assist each other and all that, but they are not to engage in any exogamous matrimonial affiliations until the nuptial cords traditionally have been tied.
Okay.
That is why the bride-to-be will also strive to keep her virginity. Because upon marriage, the white cloth must be returned, and that is a symbol of pride. So the traditional marriage in those days was structured along family interests and not the individual interest as we have it now in post-colonial time.
All right, thank you so very much for that brilliant expose, because I'm very sure a lot of persons of this generation do not know how marriage was conducted in those days. But I'm very glad that you've set the ball rolling in that regard. It's still Flipside on independent television, and we shall be going on a break now. When we return, the program continues. Please stay tuned. Television, and we're taking a look at African traditional marriage and the influence of Western civilization. Now, Mr. Foster, let's take a look at the significance of the bride price in African traditional marriage. Of what relevance is it, basically?
Okay. First and foremost, there is no marriage that is not traditional.
Interesting. So all marriages are traditional?
All marriages are traditional. The way you do things becomes a tradition to you.
Okay. But we're looking at African traditional.
Yes. When we are talking of African traditional marriage, to some people, it looks archaic, that we are still in the dark, compared to the Western type of marriages. Have you watched this Kingdom movie, Vikings?
Yeah.
If you have watched Vikings, you see, during their marriage ceremonies, whether Christians or pagans, they will always invite a priest or a priestess to come and tie the two that are marrying together.
True.
And they exchange rings. That happened to be their traditional way of marriages. And that was what the white colonialists introduced to us, that we are now calling Western or white marriages. There is nothing like white marriage. So every marriage is traditional because that is the way that particular people, they conduct their marriages.
Okay.
Now, like my colleague said, every marriage is based on family relationship.
Okay, so you agree that it's not an individual affair?
Yes, it's not individual. Because why? Both families, they play integral parts in marriages. They groom their children to love, whether they like it from the beginning or not. The bridegroom to be, the father, must have interest in the family of the prospective bride that he wants for his wife, characters and otherwise. I'll not tell his son, this is the family I want you to marry from. The same thing applies to the family of the bride as well. That's why some fathers will say, no, my daughter can never be married into that family. Now, Benin, for example, adding to what my colleague just said, there are some investigations both families they carry out. Like he said, if there is a particular sickness in that family that cause life shots, if they are witchcrafts, if they are notorious, and most especially, there's one question they always ask: is the mother of the bride to be still with the father?
Really?
Yes. Why? If the mother is still with the father, it means the mother can do everything possible to help her daughter sustain her marriage.
Okay, so divorce plays a role in it too.
Yes, exactly. So if the mother is no longer with the father, then there must be some doubt.
Concerns.
If that marriage will work. Why? If the mother of the bride-to-be could not stay with the father of the bride, it invariably means a time would come that the mother could influence the daughter to leave her marriage.
It becomes an endemic characteristic of such family.
Wow. You understand? So that is why Benin will say, no matter how, I'm talking of the family in general, no matter how good a girl is, if the family is bad, it will be difficult to marry that girl. Why? A time will come, the family will influence the girl against her husband and her family. And the family.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then, if on the other hand, no matter how bad the bride might be, if the family is good, she is marriable. Why? A time will come, the family of that girl will join hands with the family of the husband to make sure that that girl is upright. You understand?
So individual considerations were, more or less irrelevant.
Not that they were irrelevant. Definitely we have our emotions, but it is the duty of the parents to convince their
Guide.
daughter
Okay.
or their son and give reasons why they want their son to marry from that family and why they want their daughter to be married into that family. They make them to understand. So having considered all this, like my colleague said, the need for the family of the bridegroom to be to serve the family of the bride. Having considered all this, then you now come to the term of bride price payment. So like in Benin, those days, it's 24 naira that we used to take. But there are so many
24 naira.
24 naira.
24 naira,
Yes.
Okay.
But before, excuse me, before the 24 naira, it used to be cowries.
Yes,
Okay.
cowries,
So,
yes.
when the colonial system came, they now decided to equate the currency with the prehistoric one.
Yes.
And they just to find the balance.
The balance.
You understand?
Okay.
So you cannot just go there and drop 24 naira or 25 naira as a bride price. There are so many things that goes along with it. That's why before you do the marriage proper, or the marriage is done proper, you go to the family of the bride-to-be, get their family list from them. And in that list, you see all the requirements that they will need for the marriage to be done properly. You now see a column for the bride price. There are 2 bars of yam. Can you buy a 2 bar of yam for 25 naira? No. Kegs of a keg of palm oil, keg of palm wine, a bag of salt, antelope's leg. Just name them.
Okay.
All those ones amount to the bride price that you
Very correct.
are going to pay
Yes.
on the bride, not just the 25 naira. Even at that, when the 25 naira is given to the father of the bride, he doesn't take them all. He will take a little bit of it and hand the remainder to the father of the groom
Father of the groom.
and tell him, use the remainder to take care of my daughter. Then the marriage has been sealed. Like I did say before, all those items that you are to present, or the groom's family, they are to present. The family of the bride will make sure that everything they are correct. No exemption.
Nothing is left out.
Nothing is left out. If anything is left out, then you use money to replace it.
Okay.
So, bride price helps to seal the informal relationship that existed
Pre-marriage.
pre-marriage into a formal relationship.
All right.
And don't forget, during the pre-marriage existence, because we lived in a communal setting those days,
Yeah.
everyone in that community will know that, oh, this particular girl is betrothed to this young man.
Okay.
So all other prospective suitors, they will
Back off.
hands off. They will back off.
Stay clear.
They stay clear.
All right. Thank you so much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Foster. That was also very eye-opening, and I must say a big thank you. Now, Mr. Moses, what role do ancestral and spiritual beliefs play in African marriage rites?
Yes, the ancestors, don't forget, ancestors are not idols.
They are not idols.
I have been trying to correct all that.
Okay.
Ancestors are not idols. High Priest Osei once said, paganism is not my religion. Ancestors are not idols. They are our forebears. Even the Bible makes reference to ancestors. In the book of Matthew, Matthew started to trace the genealogy of Jesus from Joseph back to Adam.
To Adam.
And in Judaism and the Hebrew, worship, they look at Abraham as their ancestors. And of course, they always give reverence to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
True.
And God of Moses. We hear of Christian songs says, God of Elijah sent down fire. These are ancestors. They are not idols. Idols are objects you assemble and try to give them life. Put some spirit into them.
Inanimate objects.
Yes. So, ancestral spirits, they play a role. They believe that watching over us are our ancestors. And they started this course, this tradition, this culture that we have been following, that have become established. And so, the prayers are offered. And the ancestors are called to witness. We are not doing something strange. We are not doing something that you did not approve from the beginning.
Okay.
We are following your footsteps. And if a bride is brought into the home, she must, in those days, take oath before the ancestors. Not necessarily before idols, but before a staff representing the ancestors. And to take an oath of faithfulness, oath of allegiance to the family, and not to harm or do anything that would discredit the family.
Okay, or that will give the family a bad name.
Yes. So this is called ulame. Ulame means oath of allegiance.
Okay.
It doesn't mean idol worship or anything. And in those days, when they take this oath, they feel it as obligatory to stand by the tenets of those oaths.
Okay.
That's why you can find a man has 4 wives. Having subscribed to that oath, none of them will try to do evil. And anyone that tries to do evil, probably conscience or natural justice will catch up on that one.
Okay.
And then you begin to hear confessions. In those days, everybody eats from the same plates. Everybody drank from the same pot. Nobody poisoned anybody because of this oath. And again, when the bride is coming in, to show acceptance, the mother of the groom will bring a bowl of water, soap, and sponge by the door leading into the house. Wash her feet. Any contamination, anything that is not good, washed away. You are stepping into this household
To be neutralized.
Yes.
Okay.
You are already neutralized and pure.
All right.
You walk in and then you abide by the tenets of the family.
The household. All right, I'm going to have to pause you there, sir, because we have to go on this very important break. When we return, the program continues. Please stay tuned. Yeah, welcome back, beautiful people. It's still Flipside on independent television. Now, Mr. Mosaics, before we went on that break, you were trying to establish a certain thought.
Yes, we're talking about the role of the ancestors in marriages. Of course, yes, the ancestors guide continuously. Even when they are no longer with us, they still serve as guardian spirits.
Okay.
Now, for any man who is of Benin stock or African stock, you know, we believe in our ancestors. Like I told you, they are not idols.
Okay.
My father cannot become an idol. His father cannot be an idol. They were, that is why I am.
Okay.
So I must give them their due respect.
But there's people who believe that because they are dead and gone, their chapter has closed and they no longer have any influence on the affairs of the living. Do you subscribe to that?
You see, in procreation, genetics matters. Their blood flows in your vein. Their characteristics are inherent in you.
Okay.
Sometimes we try to explain reincarnation. It is almost exact. The only thing that we cannot prove is that we cannot give a very graphic account of our past life.
Okay.
But sometimes you can find people behaving exactly the same way somebody in the past
behaved.
in that lineage behaved. So these things are real. I am a Christian, but I believe that my ancestors existed, and I must refer to them in most things that I do. Try, for example, to uphold the family dignity. Your family has a reputation which you must maintain, and gradually you also pass it down to your generation. That's why you find some families elsewhere, like here too, they are rich. Some are known for their truth. Some are known for certain things. So in marriage, like the traditional Benin marriage, in those days, brides who are now wives were made to subscribe to this oath, and this oath helps to guide their existence within the new family.
All right.
If not, they will throw decency to the winds.
Okay.
Now, with the modernization, there's no fear for anything. But in those days, women were afraid that the ancestors will not start by punishing them, but will start by punishing or killing their own children. And then they confess. So any woman who has that fear will not commit any evil in her husband's house.
All right, thank you so much, sir. I really do appreciate that. Now, Mr. Foster,
Yes.
do you not think that all of what he has just said could be considered to be barbaric in this modern day? Because imagine living in fear of being struck by the ancestors just because maybe you're doing certain things that are considered abominable. So what do you think?
Okay, let me look at it from this angle. In some parts of Benin, we have traffic lights, and there are traffic rules. You beat the traffic light, then you face the penalty. Am I right?
True. Yeah.
Will you not call it barbaric? When the law took its course, having offended the law.
Okay.
Now, if you have a clean heart, no matter the oath you take, you will not be afraid of that oath because you know within yourself that you are not going to break the oath. It's just like the commandments the Bible gave to us as Christians. Christ said, Moses gave 10 commandments, but he has streamlined them into just 2. Number 1, love the Lord your God with all your heart, and with all your mind. Then number 2 is like unto it. Love your neighbor as yourself. What Christ meant was that love God and respect him, not to fear him because of the punishment he will make on you if you disobey him, but love him, fear him, to keep a very close relationship with him, a father and son relationship with him.
So it's a feeling that's born out of love.
Yes, born out of love. Then, like that of your neighbor, if I love you, I will not steal this your suit from you, because I know when I do, it is going to hurt you. So if you love your husband, with or without oath, will you think of sleeping with another man? No. No matter. There was a day I was going to this, it's not far away from here, Igwe. I saw a very beautiful woman, fair in complexion, washing outside a house. Behold, just a 4-room building, not plastered. The windows are covered with zincs. So my mind told me, this woman must be the wife to the owner of this house. What kept her there? Love. So those oaths that we were taking those days, like I would just say they were just formalities. They were just formalities to create some kind of awareness in the bride that if you go against the rules of this family, especially in the area of infidelity, then nemesis will catch up with that woman.
Just a minute, sir. When you say they were just formalities, does that mean that they carried no real power?
Power is in your mind. Let me tell you something. When you do something evil, it is your conscience that starts meting out punishment on you. And don't forget, we live in a spiritual world. The moment it generates, you now generate a bad energy from within you. It goes into the air.
Okay, I guess that was what Mr. Moses meant earlier when he said your conscience,
yes,
or the forces of nature.
The forces of nature will catch up with you. From the moment the bad energy generates from within you, you send it to the air. Then all that bad energies will start responding and complementing what you generated by yourself. That is, the Bible says, the sinner runneth when no man what? Pursueth. Why? The conscience has started generating bad energy based on what that person did.
All right, sir. Thank you. Thank you so very much. I really do like that. I think that was a very interesting one. Now, let's take a look at the concept of virginity, sir. I mean, nowadays you hear a lot of people, especially feminist groups, argue vehemently that if a man or if a woman is expected to be a virgin before marriage, so also is a man. Okay? In those days, it was more common for a man to demand for virginity in a woman. But nowadays, you see women also asking that men should be virgins. Do you think that's a valid argument?
That argument does not hold water.
Why is that?
By the African concept of marriage, that argument does not, if they are advocating just like the French said, I will not give power to the people. One French dictator said it, that they will ask for that which they do not know. Now, there is no way of determining
the
if
virginity of
a
a
woman
okay,
who is sexually, reproductively potent.
a woman.
A woman.
Okay.
Unless by a deep diagnosis. But the first sign of determining whether a man is potent is a very, very strong erection.
Okay.
And then be able to make love successfully and then do the necessary things
Okay.
that will enhance reproduction.
All right.
But for a woman, there's no way. And two, a woman is sought after by so many people. And so they must hold their dignity intact. And the only way they can express that dignity is when they go into their husband's house and the first night there is a sign that she was a virgin.
She was a virgin, okay.
The cloth white is returned to her family with gifts of appreciation that you have nurtured a well-behaved child who did not allow other men to cross her.
And that child becomes a pride
to the family.
Okay.
To her family.
Wow.
You see the mother dancing around the whole community, jubilating with that white cloth.
Yes.
Okay.
And that family will receive honor. Unlike a woman who before marriage
Lost her virginity.
was, as Soyinka would describe in The Lion and the Jewel, a cheap bowl for the village spit. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry has gone there. No reference. And somebody will just say, what everybody has eaten the flesh is what he's priding himself in as a wife. There's no honor, no dignity. When you hold your wife in public, everybody should look at you and say, ah, this is a man. And do not forget, Africa is mostly, predominantly rather, a patrilineal society.
Okay.
A man is allowed to have as many wives as possible.
But all of that
except
seems to have changed
some
over
countries like Ghana, where they do it the other way around, and some other countries.
Polyandry.
That is why, yes, we now say our culture is our culture. If this were handed over by our ancestors, the imbibing of foreign cultures should not reduce our own to second class.
Okay.
Our culture remains our culture, and it must be upheld, because the first thing the colonialists took from us was our culture,
Identity.
our identity, because the culture of any tribe, any society is
Its identity. Its identity.
Yes, is the identity, and they relegated us. Like, I was almost going to make the mistake of calling us tribe. Okay. There's no word like tribe. What we have is ethnic group, community, or society. Nationality.
All right.
To call us tribe means that we are in the dark ages, like the imperialist view of the idea that the Africans were monkeys living on top of trees.
And you have a tribe of monkeys.
Meanwhile, we had a culture built upon a solid foundation, which they are yet to beat. Now, if we are 3 billion people here, we can identify our origin just by a simple culture of family greeting.
All right. All right, thank you so much. I know you have a whole lot more to say in that regard, but we have to go on this break, and when we return, Mr. Moses will continue with his thoughts. Please stay tuned. Yes, welcome back. It's still Flipside, and we're talking African traditional marriage and the influence of Western civilization. Now, Mr. Foster, Mr. Moses actually established a whole lot of things that were obtainable before now, right? But if you take a look at society today, the African society, you see that a whole lot has changed. Things are no longer the way they used to be. What has changed? What are those factors that have, influenced these changes?
Changes like in what area?
Okay, the changes in our way of life, especially as regards marriage. For example, he made mention of the fact that there is no basis of comparison between the virginity in a man and virginity in a woman. But nowadays, you see, just like I said, human rights activists, women's groups advocating that virginity should apply to both men and women. So what has changed?
Let me say, first of all, I think there was an excerpt that I read some years ago when a professor made mention of, it's like the more we read, the more stupid we become.
So knowledge is in itself is a problem.
That is the misinterpretation, the misperception of knowledge.
The misapplication.
Misinterpretation.
Okay.
Sometimes we misconstrue what knowledge is all about.
Okay.
Now, if you look at it from the very beginning, there has never been a time that the man and the woman has been equal. Even before the white man came. Even in the white man's society. God having made Adam and Eve, he said, the man will rule over the woman. Now, before we became organized societies that was given birth to by the discovery of agriculture, whereby tribal societies were now formed, people were now farming, man was living in what was called a hunter-gatherer society. What does this mean? By virtue of nature, the man will go hunting without being told. While the woman will go about gathering of white fruits without being told. Nature has already separated them. The man is born to take the risk, while the woman is born to take care of the man. and take care of the home. That was how nature separated man and woman.
So you're saying there is no basis for equality?
So there is no basis for equality. That is what I mean in this context. What I mean, for the woman to equate herself with the man. Oh, you are a career man, I'm also a career woman. So if we are doing if I'm doing the house chores, you have to do the house chores with me. No, it doesn't work like that.
Okay.
The man is the man, the woman is the woman. And the role of the man defines the man, while the role of the woman defines. For example, you have a wife now. Your children are at home, your wife is at home. Maybe when they do something wrong and their mother is talking to them, they are not giving listening ears. What will their mother say? Okay, wait till your daddy comes. And that one will not put fear into the children. But if on the reverse, you are now telling your children, okay, wait till your mother comes, then you have lost your place as a man. I have seen a situation like a friend of mine whose mother was well-to-do, but she held the husband to a very high esteem. Do you know that before this woman built a house, the husband did not know? At the end of the day, the woman just came with a lorry one day and asked the husband that they are going to park. The husband said to where? He said to our house. Which house?
Wow.
It took family intervention before the man could live with her. Only to get to the house, the woman presented the papers of the house to the man. The name on the papers of the land and that of the house, they were the names of the husband.
Amazing.
How many women will do that? Because she knew, or rather she knows, that that man is ahead. No matter how prosperous and how well-to-do she is, she couldn't in any way equate herself with the husband.
Okay, so in other words, you do not agree with the idea of feminism?
I agree to some extent.
Okay.
To some extent, whereby some men do treat women as slaves. Okay. I do not subscribe to that.
All right, so you believe in the
yes,
fight for the liberation
yes, of liberation of the women to a considerable extent, not to equate the women with the men.
All right, thank you so much. Yes. I really do wish we had more time, but of course, time is never our friend on this program. Now, as we begin to wrap up, in less than a minute, if possible, Mr. Mosais, what's your final thoughts on the difference between pre-colonial times and this era as far as marriage is concerned? What's your final thought on it?
I am a proponent of going back to our culture because we had cohesion, we had strength, we had integrity, we had unity of tribal life. Before, according to Chinua Achebe, the touch of imperialism sent it reeling from a delicate equilibrium. Now, if we had stuck by our culture and not imbibed foreign cultures, our society was balanced. It was the way we lived and the way we should continue to live. If living that way has helped us generations before, of course, it will still provide a pathway to the future for us.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Now, Mr. Foster, in less than 30 seconds, do you think it's possible to trace our steps back? You think it's possible?
It is very, very possible when we make our families the center of our marriages.
All right.
Like he said, Chinua Achebe, let me quote him. He said, when the center cannot hold, things will what? Fall apart. In modern marriages, how many families are really involved?
Okay.
Families are almost breaking up. Oh, if you and your wife, you're having an argument, don't tell me your mother, don't tell me your father. Who said? Because they are there to use their own experiences to guide their children. The highest they can do, like my own father, when he had issues with my mother would go to his father, to my father's father, to lodge complaint.
Okay.
Instead of going to our own father.
Our own father.
Okay. At the end of the day, before you know it, it is resolved.
Okay.
So if we're able to trace ourselves back to all this, things will go well with us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your very, very interesting analysis. I mean, I've learned a whole lot, and I'm very sure a lot of persons out there have learned so much as well. I want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Mosai Sobakwalo, for doing me the honor of being on the show. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank
and
you
of
so
course to Mr. Foster Iyamu, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's been Flipside on independent television, and it's been such an amazing conversation today. Well, marriage has come to stay, but just like you've heard my guests say, there is no basis for equality between men and women. Yes, of course, we do believe that you know, everyone has a right, and everybody's right must be protected. But hey, even the Creator Himself, in His infinite wisdom, created both men and women, you know, with certain unique, you know, features. So all of these things must be put into consideration, and that way we'll have a very, very happy society. My name is Harry Aigboje, and until I come your way again, same time, same station next week, do the right thing, stay out of trouble, and bye for now.